Hi there, welcome to another episode of Alan Stead Reviews. This one's a bit different. Don't worry, my funky intro will return for the next videos, and I'm going to get back to doing the musical stuff. But I haven't found any videos discussing this on YouTube, and it's a really big issue. I say everything in this video without prejudice. I'm going to really emphasize that because I don't want this to get taken down. If you own a CD player or you're thinking of getting a new CD player, you really need to watch this video. And if you know someone that owns a CD player or they're thinking of getting a new one, share this, because this is a thing that started to happen with modern CD players the last few years. I don't know exactly when it started happening, and it really, in my opinion, because this is an opinion piece, but I'm going to demonstrate to you some things that you actually can't deny. It's like I will literally demonstrate it to you. So you know albums like Dark Side of the Moon, Dig Your Own Hole by the Chemical Brothers, Abbey Road by the Beatles, the second half of it, the medley, Club Life 2, Whatever Your Poison. These albums have tracks that run into each other seamlessly, and the index marker, it will go from track 1 to track 2, and it will go through, and that's the way the albums are meant to run. They're not meant to pause in between tracks. But I discovered a couple of years ago, to my disbelief, that a Cambridge Audio Topaz CD10 that my brother purchased didn't perform this function. Now, years ago, we had this. It's an old Grundig, just a basic unit that was used and moved around the house wherever we had building work done. So it got quite beaten up. Tape player still works on it. CD player stopped working. But I'm telling you, this always played gapless. But I thought, no, that's not good enough. I've got to prove that to you. So I found it online, and the CD player works on this. This is a less beaten up one. And yeah, it works absolutely fine. The sound quality is awful. So now I'm going to do a quick demonstration, and in order to avoid any copyright strike, I'm going to just choose two select pieces of music. The first one that I did with my brother recently, and one I did a few years ago. The first track I'm going to play to you, actually, it won't be split over two tracks, so this won't actually be a problem with this particular one, but it's a good demonstration of how on a dance album you would have like something just seamlessly going into the next track. So what I did is I split it into two tracks so you can hear the join, which you won't hear on this first CD player because it will play it absolutely fine. And then I'm going to demonstrate it on my brother's Cambridge audio system, and yeah, so you're going to hear the difference. The sound quality on that will sound better. I mean, it's both going to sound awful because I'm just recording it through this microphone. The Topaz CD player that I'm about to demonstrate to you I think it's been discontinued now, so it's worth bearing that in mind. So I apologize to them for using their CD player as the demonstration here, but you did make it, so here we go. There you go. It's pretty clear what I'm talking about. I don't want this video to be too long or go on for too, but it's just like I do not understand why these companies are producing CD players that don't do what they should do, in my opinion. I don't care what the excuse is. Now, at this point, I was going to do a whole segment naming and shaming all the different companies that produce CD players without gapless playback. But in the end, I decided I got a bit twitchy about that because I haven't actually tried them myself. So I can't absolutely confirm that this is the case. So just for the risk of sort of naming and shaming the wrong one, I'm not going to do that. I don't know why this is happening, and I think it's really quite. In my opinion, I think it's shoddy workmanship. There's so many things it is, and it makes it absolutely outraged. I mean, it's pathetic. This CD player, I mean, look at it. Like a £30 to £40 CD player from the early noughties. This terrible sounding JVC unit we bought a few years ago that I forgot to mention earlier, and CD players that were, from the early Philips CD players back in the 80s. They could do it. I'm not talking about high-end CD players. I'm talking about all the CD players that I ever had experience of. Aren't you embarrassed as companies? Aren't you embarrassed that a little CD player like that, a little crappy unit like that, can do what you can't do? The weird thing is, I've been given some bizarre advice, and I know this has been given to other people as well, that if you have an album that is meant to have a sequence of tracks that flows into each other, so many albums like Dark Side of the Moon, one of the ones I showed you, the guy actually advised me to burn off a CD from my computer, loading my shop bought CD into the computer and then burning it off as a single one track CD so it plays smoothly. I'm sorry, that's your suggestion, is it? Because your CD player that you're stocking cannot do what it should do, in my opinion, you're asking me to do that. I've got a lot of CDs, and I'm telling you now, a lot of them have tracks that run into each other. So you expect me to do that and then lose the convenience of having them indexed and put them onto burnt CDs, which aren't as good as shop. I mean, it's just ludicrous, basically. Now, when I was reading quite a few online forums, I think some of them were on Reddit. I forget exactly what I've read where. So many people sort of seem to not grasp the fact that this is happening to shop bought CDs. And people go, oh, well, you have the option when you burn off a CD, you can put a 2-second gap. Or if you put it in MP3 format, that can sometimes trigger a pause between it. There's nothing to do with that. This is shop-bought CDs. Now, to add an extra layer of weirdness and mystery here, the CD player that we have in our car, for some reason, most CDs, it plays absolutely fine. But for the Beatles' Abbey Road, and there was another couple of CDs as well, not Beatles CDs, this did it with as well, it wouldn't play it gapless, though it triggered the gap, the same that would happen on that Cambridge audio system. Now, I know that the car CD player plays fine, and for instance, on my earlier version of Sgt. Pepper's, it plays absolutely fine. But for some reason, there's something that's obviously different about the Abbey Road CD, or the 2009 remasters, that triggers that to happen. I don't know what it is. So I'm really interested to know, actually, if anyone watching this video can shed any light on the technological reasons why this is happening, that would be great. But yeah, that is just another thing to be wary of. At least with that one, though, I can burn that off as a playlist onto a CD and then it will work fine, because it's taking it away from whatever the thing is on that CD that's triggering that fault. I don't even really need to do that, though, because I can play it via Amazon HD. But the thing is with CDs, you do need them, because not everything that is on CD is also available on streaming. I've got a number of things in that CD collection which you can't have when streaming, and also there was like early King Crimson stuff was taken down off Amazon because of obviously some issue. It's not. With CDs, it's not going to be taken away from me, because there it is. I've got it. Also, a significant thing to note is that yes, vinyl is making a big comeback at the moment, or the past few years, and CDs a little bit since COVID. The sales have gone up a little bit, but CDs to me are still the best medium on which you can listen to things. They're a physical product that you can hold in your hand. You get a little booklet as well, which is more than you get with most vinyl. And they're compact discs. You can fit a whole load of them very easily into your room. People say, I've got rid of it, it's taken up too much space. Well, it's not really, and yet you've then got into vinyl, which actually takes up way more space and costs about 3 times as much sometimes, or twice as much at least. It depends if you're buying it new. It's like 25 quid, 20 quid for vinyl. You can get the same CD album for like 10, 15 quid. And if you're buying CDs secondhand, you know, forget it. I mean, you get them for really cheap these days for the vast majority of things. And you can pop that into your CD drive, pop it onto your computer, and you've got it digitized. It is the perfect marriage of the physical product and the digital realm. So always check before buying a CD player that it comes with the gapless feature. And if you're going into a hi-fi store, take a CD with you and literally test it out on the system if they can't tell you one way or the other. And if you're not going to buy a CD player because it doesn't play gapless, make a point of letting that shop know, or the company that makes that CD player know, why it is that you're not buying that CD player. Now, honestly, share this video. I'm not even so fussed about whether you subscribe on this occasion. It's more about getting this message out there, because I think the more people know about it, the more it's going to sort of influence what these companies are making. And I think, you know, if enough people are on the ball with this, then we might move closer to being in a world where we can consign these, what I believe to be defective products, to the dust heap of history. Yeah. See ya.